Today we're talking about the biggest fragrance mistakes that people make. 3, 2, 1, let's do this! Hi, my name is Monika and on this channel we talk about fragrances. So if you're interested in fragrances, press that subscription button and also the notification bell to get notified of my latest videos. And let's get on with today's list of fragrance mistakes that people make all the time, that I hear and smell people making. People spray too much or too little. So there is a fine line between spraying too much, which I know that some of you have seen my storytime video where I told you about this guy that I literally, like, he was standing next to me, he was spraying Creed Aventus all over him, and I counted 45 sprays. That is definitely too much. I don't know who he wanted to kill that day, but he definitely got a reaction from somebody that day. So that is definitely too much. But then also don't go and only spray one spray. You definitely want people to smell you. If you have a powerful fragrance that you know that really projects, you can spray 2 times. I think that's the minimum usually. But if you've got a light fragrance, you can literally just go to town, spray 10 sprays, but I would say no more than 10. I think 10 is a great number for weaker fragrances. And the reason why not to do it is, 1, you spray too little, people can't smell you. 2, you spray too much and people suffocate. So number 2, the fragrance mistake that I smell people make is wearing the wrong fragrance to an occasion. I did a video a while back saying places where you should never wear fragrances, and I still stand by that. You can go to my channel and watch that video. But yes, for example, if you're going to a hospital, if you're going to see somebody who's ill, you don't want to wear a strong fragrance because you don't want your memory and that scent to be associated to maybe a bad experience, or also just be mindful of the person that you are going to be visiting. They might not want to be suffocated with a scent. So definitely keep in mind that, for example, if you're going to an office, don't wear a clubbing fragrance, wear a lighter fragrance that is more likable, that people around you will like. Don't wear a controversial fragrance. So know your time and place to wear fragrances. Number 3, people think that there is either a good fragrance that smells amazing or there is a bad fragrance. So they just separate the fragrance world in these 2 categories: bad smelling fragrance, good smelling fragrance. And it's far more difficult than that. There is a spectrum. There is great smelling fragrances, but they're great smelling to you. There's also great smelling fragrances that smell great to other people. There's bad smelling fragrances because everybody hates them, and there's bad fragrances that are bad to you, but maybe some people love this fragrance. Some people love oud fragrances, for example. Some people hate them. So it's such a complicated matter. So if you want to be safe, just wear a fragrance that is universally liked. If you love a certain note, but you know that not everybody likes it, then okay, this is a great fragrance to you, but not maybe to everybody else. And that point of knowing when or where to wear this fragrance you love, but somebody might hate, applies. Next fragrance mistake is thinking that a fragrance that smells awesome on somebody else will smell awesome on you, and that is something definitely not true, because I've experienced this personally. Wearing a fragrance that I smelled on somebody else and I think, oh my god, this smells so amazing, I want to smell like that, and I spray it on and I smell really, really bad. There's just something to say about skin chemistry. Some fragrances work with your skin chemistry, some don't. So if you want to test that, just spray it on your skin. If you like the scent, of course, just from the bottle or a scent strip, but certainly test it on your skin, because scent strips don't really take into account your skin chemistry. So when spraying it on, if it smells bad, then it just doesn't work. And I'm sorry, but you can't do anything about it. Just enjoy it on your friend. Next up, I want to mention this fragrance mistake is often people just have one scent that they think they can wear all year long. And it's fine if it's a scent that's very universal, like Bleu de Chanel, or for example, Coco Mademoiselle. I'm going to Chanel fragrances. I love Chanel fragrances. But if you're wearing a fragrance, for example, Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford, it's a designer scent. It's very heavy, it's sweet, it's very loud. If you have that one fragrance and you attempt to wear it throughout the whole year and you live in a hot climate, then oh my gosh, it won't be a great smelling event. Your life basically for half a year, because you'll be just sweaty. It just won't work. It's more of a cold weather fragrance. So be mindful of that certain fragrances, for example, vanilla, sweet fragrances, also oud fragrances, that they are more likely to be great in colder climates or winter, autumn. Then when it comes to the summer, switch it up, use lighter fragrances like neroli, citruses, all of that. So don't use your heavy fragrance throughout the year, because you don't want to offend people with how strong you're smelling in the summer. Next up is a fragrance mistake that I love to talk about, because often fragrance people who are just getting into fragrances, they will think that spending more money on fragrance will equal them getting more compliments on that fragrance, and that is simply not true. Often actually cheaper fragrances will get you more compliments, because those designer scents, for example, that are kind of designed to be very pleasing towards everybody. But if you go more into the niche market, usually more expensive, usually houses that only specialize in fragrances, you'll get more nuanced fragrances, you'll get oud fragrances, you'll get fragrances that are a bit harder for just a layman's person to understand and appreciate if they don't love fragrances. So often, if you want compliments, you'll be better off going with a designer scent, designer perfume, and price tag doesn't equal compliments. Next is buying a fragrance just based on its opening. So when you go into a department store, you smell fragrance, oh, it smells great, you spray it on and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You buy it and then you go home and you smell a dry down. So the dry down only really develops after a few hours of wear, and you might hate a fragrance. I've been guilty of that. For example, I love the opening of a Ruffler from Creed, but I absolutely I cannot stand the dry down. So don't waste your money. Really do a full wearing test before buying a fragrance. Get yourself a sample, spray it on maybe in the department store on your skin, and then just wear it throughout the day and see if you really love it. If you really love it, go and purchase it. The last mistake I see people making is them choosing a wrong concentration of fragrance for their needs. So there's loads of concentrations of perfume. So what that means, you've got a different percentage of perfume oil in a fragrance. The more perfume oil, usually, the more longer lasting, the more projecting it is. So if you want a stronger fragrance, go and purchase Extrait de Parfum. This is the strongest, most of the time, fragrance that you can get. If you want to be smelt, if you are going on a special occasion, evening, a formal event, you want to be smelled, you want to be different and be smelt in the crowded place, then pick Extrait de Parfum or de Parfum. If you want a lighter fragrance in the summer, for example, if you're going on a holiday, pick maybe an eau de toilette or eau de cologne, or just something like a body mist. That will also work great, but know the difference of the concentrations. And there's also always a price difference. But here's a little tip for you. The performance isn't always better with eau de parfum. I know with loads of dual fragrances, for example, eau de toilette is actually stronger than eau de parfum. So if a sales assistant tells you, okay, buy eau de parfum and not eau de toilette because they want to make more commission because eau de parfum is stronger, don't always fall for that. Always do a full wearing on your skin, comparing them side by side, because sometimes they even smell completely different and they are not just different concentrations. So just be mindful of that. Let me know what fragrance mistakes you see people making all the time. Tell me some funny stories. I'm sure you've got some funny stories about people overspraying or something like that. So leave them down below. I post every Monday and Thursday, so do remember to press that notification bell to get notified of my videos. If I post more, sometimes I do a sneaky video here and there. Remember, if you love a fragrance, you can wear it. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye, guys.